We're here to talk about our service through the Transbay Tube starting this weekend and also next weekend. We're going to be shutting down half the Transbay Tube for train traffic. So only one side of the board is going to be open, and so that's going to cause some delays for passengers. And it's very important people know what trains are running and when and how to transfer to get around the system. And so Paul Overs here, who's in charge of all of that, is going to speak to how people can get around BART this weekend and next weekend.
Thanks, Linton. So our emphasis really this morning is to explain to our customers what the impacts are of this track work that we have to do over the weekend. Let me start by telling you the times and the dates. The primary impacts on our riders will be this Sunday, this Monday, which is Memorial Day, as well as next Sunday. And the impacts on those 3 days will last from the time that BART opens, which on Sunday and Monday, because Monday is Memorial Day, we will be opening at 8 o'clock as we do on Sundays. So what we're talking about here today will impact riders from 8 a.m. until 2:30 in the afternoon. Having said that, essentially only one track will be open through the Transbay Tube. What that means is that the Pittsburgh Bay Point to San Francisco Airport trains in both directions will have to share the remaining track through the Transbay Tube. The other service that normally runs through the Transbay Tube, which is the Dublin to Daly City trains, will not run through the tube and instead will be split up into two segments. In the East Bay, the Dublin trains, instead of operating from Dublin to Daly City, will operate from Dublin to MacArthur. In the West Bay, the Daly City to Dublin trains, instead of operating through the Transbay Tube, will terminate at Embarcadero Station. So essentially the Dublin line, instead of running through to San Francisco, will operate as two shuttles in the East Bay from Dublin to MacArthur, in the West Bay from Daly City to Embarcadero. Yeah, this map gives an illustration of what that looks like. So the Dublin service will essentially be split off and will not run through the Transbay Tube because we only have one track available. Operate as a shuttle from Dublin to MacArthur, operate as a shuttle from Daly City to Embarcadero. Now that's physically what the service looks like. The most important thing is for our riders and what do they do. The riders that are most impacted are the Dublin line and Fremont line riders. When I say Dublin line and Fremont line, I mean people getting on or off at all stations from Dublin and Fremont all the way up to Lake Merritt. The instructions for those riders is actually very simple. If you're going from the East Bay to San Francisco, get on the train that you normally get on and transfer at 12th Street Station, the station we're at right now. Get off at 12th Street, go downstairs, your train will come in at the upper level, your train to San Francisco will be at the lower level. The message to riders who are going from San Francisco to Dublin and the Fremont lines is very similar. What you have to do is get on a Pittsburgh Bay Point line train in San Francisco, again, ride it to 12th Street. At 12th Street, you will come in at the same level here, the upper level, go downstairs and catch your normal train to either Fremont or Dublin. So to boil it down to its bare essence, the most impacted riders are on the Fremont and the Dublin lines. They need to transfer to and from San Francisco trains right here at 12th Street in Oakland. They need to make that transfer expeditiously because in some cases they have 3 to 5 minutes to catch their train to or from San Francisco. If they miss that train, we're on a 20-minute headway on Sunday, and that means they have an extra 20 minutes to wait. So again, 12th Street, 12th Street, 12th Street is the transfer location. Any questions?
How do you do this to your passengers? It sounds confusing and difficult.
We do it so that the system can operate normally, safely, and reliably during the week when we carry 2 to 3 times as many riders as we do on Sunday. This is really necessary. It's actually an emergency repair contract. We have to fix some cabling that feeds the third rail. God forbid we should have a failure in that cabling. It would mean basically no service through the Transbay Tube when we're trying to carry hundreds of thousands of riders through the tube during the week. So this is really an investment in the reliability of the service, and we try to schedule it when we impact the least number of people.
So this all starts Sunday, not tonight?
This starts, technically, this happens also Saturday morning till 7:30 a.m., which is only an hour and a half. So the real focus, the reason I focused on Sunday and this coming Monday when we run a Sunday schedule, as well as the next Sunday, is because that's when 95% of the impacts on our riders occur.
How many people do you think ride at that time?
We've looked at it, and we think the impacts on the 3 days that this is happening are between 10 and 15,000 people that will essentially...
The whole time or each day?
Each day.
10 to 15,000 each day?
10 to 15,000 people that would normally, that will have to take a different route in order to get through the Transbay Tube.
Have you all done this?
Yes.
Driven it? How much
Actually,
extra time does it add to someone?
well, that's why it's so important to get the message out to people that at 12th Street, when they get to this station, they need to listen to the announcements, they need to listen to the personnel on the platform, and go downstairs and make their transfer. Because if they make their train, the delay is only about 5 to 10 minutes. If they miss their train, if they miss their connection, if they don't go downstairs right away, or if they stay on the train and go up to MacArthur or to 19th Street, they're going to miss their connection and they're going to add 20 minutes to their wait time. So instead of maybe a 10-minute delay, it could be a 20 or 30-minute delay. So again, that's why we're asking you to please emphasize to our riders that the transfer location is 12th Street. They need to get off the train at 12th Street and go downstairs and catch their regular train.
So you're closing one of two tracks, is that it?
That's it.
And this is the work you're doing?
That's actually an example of the incident that caused the damage that we are going to be repairing over the next 2 weekends.
Oh, it was an
When was
incident.
the incident?
What happened?
The date?
The incident was on December the 19th. And it was an incident in the Transbay Tube where we essentially had an electrical flashover that damaged the cables that run between the substation and the third rail. And typically we have 10 cables that feed this long third rail section, and we damaged about half of those cables when we had this fire on December the 19th.